I'd heard about this book because I had to write a review on it, and I remember going through online and seeing what people had to say about it. And someone was like, "This we don't talk about taboo topics enough in Nigeria, and this is one of the books that talk about taboo topics." So I was like, "Okay, what am I going to expect to see here?" And believe you me, I knew this was what this was going to be about, but I was still shocked. Like I was prepared, my mind was prepared, but I was still shocked. It's like giving the death of Vivek Oji, where you know Vivek Oji was going to die, and then you're still shocked by his death, you're still pained. So that was how this book is. Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to Robin Tree Books, and today we'll be discussing Some Angels Don't See God by Everby. And this book is about a set of twins, Netta and Jetta. And we see how their lives are. We see how certain things play out, how because of a particular decision, this is how they have become. Now, there is a saying that starts the book where they say, the past is not past, the past is never dead. That's what I used for my review. And the past is never dead, it's not even past. William Faulkner, Requiem for a Nun. So that was the way I was able to tie the story together, because if you looked at it very well, it was repercussions from the past that was beginning to happen to these people. So we see Netta. Netta is a young lady, very beautiful young lady, and she's in a relationship with a young man called Peter. And then she and the guy, they love each other and all of that. And then they're like, okay, I love you, I wanna take you home to mama. And they go home to mama, and then they realize they have history, and their history wasn't such a good history. So because of the kind of history that they have, they may not be able to work together. I was so hurt by that, because I was like, well, she did not have a hand in that particular history. She could not have contributed to that. But I think that's the way life is sometimes. We may not be a part of something, but because you're related to someone, you don't get to suffer the consequences of that. It was a very bad thing, because if you see what happened to Netta here, she lost out on a very good potential relationship because of a past she had no control over. Now, for the incest part, incest is something we don't really discuss. Like I said, it's a taboo topic. Aside from Some Angels Don't See God, the only other book I've read of incest in is Born in a House of Glass. And I was still shocked when I read it. Because I knew something was going on, but I did not know what was going on. So when I read, oh, this is what was going on, I was thrown aback. I did not expect that. I did not see comments. So I was very, very shocked. Like, oh, this is what was really going on. I wonder why we bury topics like this. Like, I understand the taboo nature of topics like this, but I wonder why we bury them. Because when we bury them, we make it so difficult for people that are victims to speak out. Victims like Netta. So they were in this situation based on what had happened to them in their childhood. And we see how an unhealthy obsession grows, and how it feels like there's nothing she can do about this. At first, I blamed Netta for some decisions she made, because I felt like, in as much as you cherish this person, this person has already done certain things, and he has exhibited signs that he is not an entirely okay person. So why would you allow him to live in the same house with you? I questioned that so much. And in as much as I felt like she had no choice, because she could not have rented an apartment to him, I think she was endangering herself by living in the same place with him. Or maybe she could have given him her apartment and lived with a friend or something. I just really figured that that was a very unsafe environment for her, and I hated that I was proved right. Another thing I'll talk about is her relationship with Peter. So Peter is like the all-perfect good man, and then we realize that, well, not all that glitters is gold in Peter's case. There is something I really liked about this book. It talks about the writing readers, how we go for some events, we get to meet the author and all of that. I felt seen as a reader, because I've read books about readers, but very few have been about readers in Nigeria. So when I read this, it felt like, oh, this is something validating my experience. Because as much as we have many readers in Nigeria, not many of our experiences are being documented. So I really like that this book paid attention to that. I like the flow of the story. Like I said, it paid really good attention to the poem that was at the beginning. The past is not past. It is not even. The past is never dead. It's not even past. So there is a quote before that one that says, "The past beats inside me like a second heart." That's John Banville to see. But I got this, but I connected more with the one I said first. So that's why I was able to base my entire review on that. So if you want to read my review, I'll probably drop a link where you can get access to my review of Some Angels Don't See God. It's a very beautiful story, and as much as it is traumatic, you would shout, you would do a lot of things, you would, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a very sad story. But yeah, also I think it's not a book I think I can reread, not just because of how sad it is, but because I don't think I should go through this anymore. So it's just a book that will stay somewhere and I'll be looking at it. Well, yeah, I survived you. Because really, that's all there is to say. Like, I survived this book. If you've read it, you know what I'm saying, because it was so triggering, it was so traumatic. And it wasn't even the trauma that we read about in African, normal African literature trauma. It was a deeper kind of trauma. So that made it a lot more difficult to absorb. Anyways, that's all for today. Bye. See you in my next video.